Let's be real, this bloodthirsty monster in Invincible Season 3's finale, Conquest, is a very relatable character. In fact, he's the most relatable character in the entire show. Truly, Conquest's character literally hits me to my core. You say, well, he's gonna send a warlord who commits atrocities for fun. Hear me out here. Conquest is just a lonely, overworked, socially awkward outcast who loves his work so much. It's his entire identity as Conquest, truly making Conquest relatable. But you're gonna whine about how Conquest is a bloodthirsty monster who destroys civilizations for the love of the game. Bro, be real. Conquest is just a burnt-out college student like us, you know, who got assigned way too many group projects, and now everyone resents him for carrying and doing too much in these assignments because he's cutthroat and absolute killer with these assignments, you know? Especially when Conquest didn't choose this life, you know? He was born into it, so it chose him. And he made the most out of it, honestly, making the most out of this deep, dark rabbit hole because of these useless Viltrumite council who keep piling on work for him. And there's nothing wrong with loving what you do, you know? Even when the tasks are forced onto him. Conquest is so competent in his job that it makes his life actually worse and his mental absolutely worse. And using my hoop logic, Conquest is like 2018 LeBron, also known as Thanos, dragging J.R. Smith and a bunch of Uber drivers and substitute teachers to the 2018 NBA Finals. Like, what else do you want him to do, you know? Take a break? Retire? No. Same thing with the Viltrumites. They need to meet their yearly quota of obliterated civilizations, you know, to, feel satisfied with themselves, right? And it's for the Empire. And guess who carries them to those legendary numbers? Conquest. That's right. Conquest is the Viltrumite's franchise player. And they take him for granted. Like how we've all been taken for granted once in our lives. So that's why, I truly relate to Conquest in that way. And the saddest part about Conquest is his name. Conquest. Bro doesn't even get a real name here. They gave Omni-Man Nolan. They gave Anissa, her name. They gave Thula. And they gave Steve Harvey. What's that fucker's name? I don't know. But they gave Steve Harvey a name. They even gave Optimus Prime a name in this show too. Yet, they still didn't give Conquest a name, Because his own people view him as an animal, as an object of conquest, not an actual individual who has thoughts and feelings, which Conquest has tons of those feelings, Mostly about love and bloodlust, but, he has feelings. This man is a human being. Well, he ate a human being, but, same thing is the same. So he's truly become what he's always known his entire life. It's like LeBron, from the start of his career, he doesn't even get to be called LeBron. He's not even called an individual anymore. He's been called the king, the GOAT, the chosen one, the guy who has to carry Anthony Day-to-Day Davis every postseason. Thank God for Luka. And LeBron and LePookie, the list goes on and on for LeBron. That's what happens when you become too elite with your craft. You stop getting praise, you stop making friends, you stop getting rest. You just have to become him. You have to become that guy who has to carry without even having others to ask if you're okay. Which makes Conquest even more relatable, This guy is just him. And he gets to pay the consequences of being him. And finally, let's just keep it real about Conquest's social life. Or lack of social life. All the other Viltrumites are scared of him. Nobody talks to him. They don't even check up on him. They don't have Viltrumite therapists over there. And they send him from planet to planet, forcing him to work. And the better he gets, the more they hate him, the more they're scared of him. Like, what else can this man do to make friends, He's just trying to pour out his feelings about how he slaughtered a whole family of innocent bystanders, but he's just trying to pour his feelings out to these other Viltrumites because that's gonna really take a toll on him, about how he didn't do more damage to those civilizations and all of that, I really want Conquest to get a therapist. I feel like therapy can do a lot for him, so he can express the atrocities that he's done and really, express how his passions of doing more atrocities. I feel like people in life, they should share what kind of passions in life they have and truly release that to the world, and just that's the purpose. And everyone has a purpose, and obviously Conquest has his purpose to, be a true man of society. But honestly, we should let him express himself in that way. And my man, Conquest, is literally like 18,000 years old. I don't know how old he is. He is old, and he's still averaging the same numbers as he was before. 14 bodies one day, one night, 1 minute, 10 executions, and 5 cannibalisms, The guy is just doing prime numbers again and again, LeBron-type numbers, And the Viltrumites just keep asking him to do it again and again. And I'm like, what else can this guy ask for? Get this man a break, right? The dude deserves some acknowledgement here. Like, good job, champ. We appreciate you, buddy. Like, maybe, hey, you probably need to obliterate that planet today, Like, take a break, Maybe just take out a state or two. Maybe just load manage for the day and unwind by drinking boba. Because there's no better way to unwind like sucking black balls for 5 minutes. It's absolutely perfect. It's an absolute perfect way for Conquest to truly relieve himself. But instead, Conquest gets fear. He gets resentment. And especially when he's just too good at his job, people stop seeing you as a person. They see him as a machine, as an animal, as a monster. He's essentially a tool at this point, and just a tool for the well-oiled Viltrumite war. This poor guy doesn't get to express himself. And, you know, this man is a human being. Well, I mean, he actually killed a human being. But you know what I'm saying? He is a living being who deserves to share his feelings out to the world and don't have to be lonely in this very vast world that he's very much destroyed and conquered plenty of times. But you know, he deserves to find that type of belonging and not feel lonely no more, right? Like all of us do. We don't want to feel lonely no more. So why should Conquest, the bloodthirsty monster? At the end of the day, Conquest isn't a villain at all. He isn't a bloodthirsty monster that we all say he is. He's just another workaholic that we've all kind of been exposed to. He's every kid and every student who's really good at school and honestly goes try hard on it and doesn't know how to have fun no more, you know? And he doesn't even know how to express his feelings no more because everyone thinks he's just gonna blow them off and, you know, kill half of their families and all that, you know? He deserves to share his feelings out to these other people. He's just honestly like us, the exhausted, socially awkward college student who never learned how to stop and relax. We all need that, right? And I feel like we should probably do something for Conquest. You know, he deserves our respect and fear. You know, I mean honor, because you know, because Conquest, if we want to deserve love and we think we deserve belonging and you know friends and all that, Conquest deserves that love and fear. I mean love as well. You know, he deserves that as much as we do. So you know what? We should unionize for Conquest. You know, Conquest should get better pay, therapy, and you know maybe more opportunities to you know relax and suck on some black balls with Boba. So yeah, all that type of stuff. I think that's what it was really for Conquest, and that's why Conquest is so relatable to all of us. Because honestly, to my lonely and sleep-deprived homies, Conquest did nothing wrong, and honestly is just one of the most relatable characters in the entire Invincible universe, and possibly one of the most relatable characters in fiction. And you know, Conquest did nothing wrong once again, except for that naughty genocide, but we can just press that aside, you know? So yeah. I'm so lonely, so very lonely. I got nobody to come by my side.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely.